Hello again, everyone. Today's video is going to be on number lines. And I did do a video earlier on measurements, various measurements. And I introduced briefly just a number line using a ruler. Uh, so I feel today's video is going to be kind of going in a little more expanding on that, and also giving just another version of number lines in comparison to that video. And the difference will be primarily is that there's going to be negative numbers involved in this, where in that one it had just positives. It's just using the standard ruler, where as you can see here, I'm using, like I said, both positive and negative. Okay, if you would like to see that video, I'll leave a link in the description down below so you can see what that earlier edition looks like. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at this number line here, and the directions say look at the number line below. So here it is, I've got it here, and here's negative 18, I've got 0 in the middle, and then I've got positive 18 over here on the far right. It says to write down the following numbers on the number line. So we've got negative 6, 0, and 6. So we have to determine where will these numbers go. Now, if you're looking carefully, you can see these are not counting by ones, going from negative 18 to 0, and then 0 to 18. So you have to decide how much does each number line represent in terms of the number value. Okay, so the easiest way to probably do this, well, here's just one method I'll show you, is just look at the 0 and then count to 18. How many lines are there between 0 and 18 that'll count? Okay, so I've got 0 to 18, so I've got 1 line, 2 lines, 3, 4, 5, and then I get to number 18 on the 6th line. So we know it's not going to be, we're not going to be counting by ones. How much is each line going to be? What's the number going to be? So if we know this is 0, and then this is going to be 18, I know that I'm going to count by 3s for each number line. And just to confirm that, let's go ahead and count it now to see where the number goes. So we've got 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 18. So we now know that we're counting by 3s. So now that I know that, it doesn't matter whether negative 18 to 0 here on this side is a positive or a negative. You're going to be counting by 3s. Just keep in mind that you're going to have to be counting backwards for the negative number. So that's the only thing. And I'm hoping that you already had an idea about this. And if that's something you're kind of scratching your head, you're not sure about, please leave me a message, and I can make an arrangement to show you how to count negative numbers here. Okay, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about how to do that, because we're just counting by 3s and just labeling where these numbers here go. Okay, so negative 6, where would negative 6 go? If we know we're counting by 3s, if you start at 18, then you know you're just going to go back 3. So you got 18, negative 18, excuse me, negative 15, negative 12, negative 9, and negative 6. So here's where negative 6 goes, here. And then 0 is, well, it's already there. So we know that negative 6 is here. Then the next number on that number line is negative 3, and then there's 0, and you saw where I had already labeled 6 here on the number line. So that's our answer for those numbers. Okay. Now, the next question here says, where is negative 5? Write it down. So we know we're counting by 3s. So negative 5 is not going to be an exact answer. So you're going to have to do your best to estimate where -5 goes. And just so long as it's pretty close, then it should be okay. All right, and for just make sure you label it where it would fall next on the number line here. Okay, so we already labeled -6 here, and that we know the number that comes before -6, if we're counting as we are from -18 to 0, is going to be -5, which is right here. And that seems pretty close to where -5 would go on the number line here. Okay, so that's where -5 goes. Next question says, where is 3? Write it down. And this one's more straightforward, as we were counting by threes. You heard me earlier when we were counting by threes. Identify it. So we know number 3 goes right here on the number line. And we've pretty much have completed this exercise here, showing you how to label number lines. Now I do have a couple of bonus activities that will continue to work with this idea of number lines. Now the directions may be different and there may be measurements indicated, so please, whatever the instructions say, make sure you follow that. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the bonus activity now. Here's the first bonus activity. And again, we're working with number lines with both positive and negative numbers. And as you can see, we're using a thermometer, so we're going to be talking about temperature. Now, again, if you're not comfortable with the idea of reading a thermometer or reading how to read the thermometer, and then you want to see something more specific, again, please send me a message and we can make an arrangement. But to be perfectly honest, the only difference between this and the previous example I gave you is just there's a thermometer with a temperature on it. But if you look carefully, the whole concept of what we did in the previous example is exactly the same. Okay, so it's very self-explanatory. For example, I'm just going to read the first one just to get you set up here. So number 5A says, what temperature does the thermometer show? Okay, so this little red line here, and I'm circling it and I'm underlining it for you, is where they want you to identify the temperature here. What temperature does the thermometer show? Okay, so just remember, when you're writing these answers, don't forget to put the negative if there's a negative answer. And in this situation, don't forget to put the degrees Celsius. Okay, so don't forget to write degrees Celsius, like I'm circling here. All right, because if you don't put that down, I'll probably mark it at least half wrong, if not all of it wrong, because you didn't answer the question completely. Okay, so that's the first bonus activity I have for you here. This is just, again, just a practice. Again, as with everything else, just for extra practice and reinforcement on number lines. Okay, so here's the second bonus activity. And again, it's going in, it's going up and down. Okay, it's going, it's not going side to side like the previous two. It's going up and down. But as you can see, the number lines are clearly written here on the far left hand side that I'm circling, and you're just going to have to read it. Now, I'm going to explain a couple of these drawings here because they may not look very clear to you on what they are here. So I'm just going to tell you what they are to help you avoid any possible confusion here. Okay, so the vase, and this is what I'm circling here, or the vase, as I call it a vase. The vase is this object here, okay? So what I'm circling, that's a vase. This object I'm circling is a skull, okay? It's a skull. It's an animal skull, but it's a skull, okay? And then this object I'm circling here is a crown, okay? So that's a crown. So those are the names of the 3 objects in this activity, okay? And the directions say to copy this diagram on square paper. Now, if you've got square paper, go for it. But if not, If you have lined paper, you can do it like that. It might take you some time. Okay, so if you've got lined paper at home, you can at least draw the lines that are going up and down. Okay, if you've got a ruler, use it because you're going to need it for this. And if you're seeing that this says meters on it, don't get all freaked out if your ruler doesn't have that measurement. Like I told you, I did a video earlier on 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 this exact same topic of measurement. Okay, on weigh scales, on scales. Okay, I have at the beginning of that video a conversion chart from the metric system that the entire world uses to the imperial system, which is what the United States uses. And I'm not going to explain any more than that because I talk about it for quite a bit on that video. So if you're confused and you only have maybe a traditional imperial ruler that shows inches, it's okay. Go to that video, and at the beginning you can see the conversion chart shows converting meters to centimeters and meters to inches and everything. It's all there for you. Okay, so you can use that for a reference. Okay, and that's if you have to draw it. Okay, now if you can print this, then go ahead and print it, and you can do it like that. Okay, so this is the second bonus activity here, and just again read the directions, do your best to draw the objects that they're asking you to draw, and you should be okay. All right, so that'll do it for this video, and I always appreciate all my viewers spending part of their day here with me watching my videos, and I hope you get something out of it, and I look forward to seeing you for my next video. Thank you once again for joining in today's lesson. Please message me through Facebook Messenger, or you can email me at jollyformore@gmail.com to learn more about my online tutorial service. Please leave a comment down below. If you know someone interested in hiring an online tutor, share this video. And if you would like to get a bell notification for all my newest videos, please subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. And until then, please be safe out there. Have a great day.